Let's turn our attention now to boxing and bring in Fight Night host Gareth Davies, who is alongside the Omen Spencer Oliver, live from the Queensberry Matchroom 5v5 press conference in Saudi Arabia. We hope the line is perfect. We tested it. There were problems. Hopefully they can hear us loud and clear. Lads?
We can indeed, Mr. Goldstein and Mr. Bent. How are you?
We're good. We're very well. Paint the picture for us. What can you see? Where are you? What's happening?
We're in Times Square here in Boulevard City in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It's the third set piece of the week. It's the press conference tonight. Big lineup, of course. 12 boxers, 2 promoters. But earlier on today, we sat around a table for a media lunch with 3 Warrens, a Smith and a Hearn. And that is absolutely unheard of. Frank Warren, George Warren, Francis Warren, Eddie Hearn and Frank Smith. And they were like they'd been friends forever. The entente cordiale will last until the end of the week. But both sides really mean business. Someone's going home unhappy with their tail between their legs, Spencer.
Yep, totally agree with that. I think that now, you know, reality's starting to kick in. There's a lot of egos on the line here, guys. The rivalry goes back a long, long time. And, yeah, we're starting to see now that how much both teams want it, how much they both want victory. Fantastic concept this is. And I think it's the longevity of this will last. I think it's a great idea. And, yeah, really looking forward to Saturday night. We've got some fantastic fights.
Because it's an individual sport and there is this team camaraderie, it has definitely brought a different element to it.
When you look at the fight card, and I'll start with you, Gareth, which fight are you most looking forward to? Because I know, listen, they're all blockbuster fights, but which one are you like, oof, I'm looking forward to that one?
It's the two heavyweight fights I'm picking from, and I think it's Zhilei Zhang and Deontay Wilder, because that fight is almost guaranteed to be a knockout for somebody. Wilder's got to get the job done against the big Chinese fighter who's slimmed down. But I've got to say as well, the outcome of Hrgovic and Dubois as well is something that is going to be amazing, because they're lining up Anthony Joshua to fight the winner at Wembley Stadium on September the 21st.
Yeah, and you know what, guys? I like the Nick Ball-Ray Ford fight. I think that's going to be an absolute barnstormer. Stylistically, these two really do gel well together. I'm really looking forward to that one. And Hamza Shiraz versus Amo Williams as well. That's another classic fight. Real 50-50. Do you know what? You look down the card and this could top a bill really anywhere. These fights, any one of these fights, they're classics.
Spence, let me ask you this question.
And what's fascinating as well... Yeah, go on.
I was going to ask, I know there's a time delay, so we'll try and work around that. Spence, I was going to ask you, right, I'm looking forward to all these fights. There are blockbusters. That one you mentioned, or Benty mentioned, Deontay Wilder against Zhilei Zhang will be fantastic. Dubois against Hrgovic, also fantastic. So I know it's a great night of boxing, but we keep billing it as Queensberry against Matchroom. Does anyone really care it's Queensberry v Matchroom?
Well, I think it's just the concept, isn't it? And I think that's the idea moving forward, the longevity of it, you know, these team events, bring a little extra, something special out of the fighters, because as we've been around it all week, actually, you know, the fighters, as they're getting there, the tensions are rising, but it's very much become a team spirit. It's like going back to the amateur days when you're boxing for your country. Everyone sort of seems to lift everyone, and I think that will bring the best out in fighters, and that's what we're seeing here. I think you'll see something slightly different because it's a team event.
If I can add to that, you've got to remember that there's 50 years of dynastic kind of sporting promotional rivalry between Frank Warren and Barry Hearn. 30 years in boxing. These guys go back to being hustlers, if you like, young businessmen in East London and Islington against each other, crisscrossing each other, and I think it's emblematic as well of not just a Queensberry versus Matchroom event, but emblematic of finally Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn and Barry Hearn working together. Barry Hearn hadn't spoken to Frank Warren for 15 years.
Yeah, but Gareth, I get it. I get it. But let's not kid ourselves. There's millions of pounds on the table, and that's the reason they're chatting, right? I mean, I hear exactly what you're saying. I'm not poo-pooing it, but they're doing it because they're all making copious amounts of money on the back of it.
Yeah, of course it's professional sport, but what's fascinating to witness is to see the two men together, the two promoters together, where all you used to get was them slagging each other off on YouTube channels, never meeting. Now we're sitting around a table with them and they're discussing about plans they've got to do things together. You haven't got one fighter going up one stream with one broadcaster. You've got them kind of creating alliances. You will get the fights you want to get as a result.
Yeah, I think that's the
You not
important.
agree?
I know.
Go on, Spence.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, listen, sitting around the lunch with them today, we had a lunch today, and you see them sitting there talking to each other. I think as they've been in each other's company, which they haven't ever done before, I think they actually like each other.
There's a
actually
respect there.
They've grown on each other. Yes, of course, working together and money involved and whatnot, but honestly, guys, they're starting to like each other.
Yeah, I'd like them as well for £500 million as well. Let me stay with one of them. Eddie Hearn was speaking to talkSPORT. Spence Oliver, that's you, Spence, over in Saudi Arabia. He said that the 5v5 event format will change boxing forever.
The concept here has never been done before. So a team concept where you've got like a rolling point score, on the graphics throughout the whole card. 2 points here. The captain wins. 4 points for knockout. Matchroom 6, Queensbury 4. 2 fights to go. It's just such a compelling format. Yeah. And then you've obviously got the history, the narrative of me and Frank seeing us both lose our mind at ringside as well. But the reality is, Spence, as you know, the fights are brilliant.
And on the back of Eddie Hearn speaking on talkSPORT, he also spoke to IFL TV following Turki Al Sheikh's call into White and Jordan yesterday. Have a listen to this.
Because when he puts it on your toes, everyone gives it the old, His Excellency, His Excellency. And then he comes on talkSPORT, who have been slagging, the whole, new vision for boxing off for so long. It's like, oh, hello, Your Excellency. Oh, hello, we'd love to come out and support your show. So it is what it is. Look, it was brilliant. Turkey stuck it on the toes of Jim White and Simon Jordan. Obviously, they melted, and they'll be out joining the party on Saturday night.
That's brilliant from Eddie Hearn. That's such a great take. He's got that bang on. Are you looking forward to seeing Jim White out there, boys?
Absolutely, of course we are. Coming out here and witnessing it is a big thing. Coming out here and being on the streets, being amongst the people, it changes things. You both know that. You've travelled with your sports to other territories, to other places, and once you feel the ambience of a place, what the people are like, it does change how you feel about it. There's no doubt about it, and Jim will feel that.
Spence, I've got to talk to you then about the rematch, 21st of December this year, Usyk Fury. Listen, we saw what happened in the first fight. Usyk won, I thought, quite comfortably. How do you see, Spence, the rematch going, and what has Fury got to do differently to make sure he gets the outcome in this fight?
Listen, I think that Fury was surprised by Alexander Usyk's tactics. He didn't expect him to go and start as fast as he did, and he built up an early lead on my thing, and that's where he sort of won the fight, and I think that adaptability is key here, and I think that Tyson Fury has to show that adaptability. Has he got that boxing IQ? Has he got that ability to be able to adapt? Well, the answer is yes. So it will be a different fight next time around. I'm looking forward to it for all those reasons, and it's going to be. It's just great that actually, Gareth, we get this fight next, because we didn't know where it was going to go and if Tyson Fury was going to go into the immediate rematch. But thankfully, December 21st, we get it.
Look, big comebacks in heavyweight boxing are very important. The comeback after a first defeat is almost the biggest fight of your career. Don't believe about legacy that he doesn't care about legacy, because the historians, the critics, the fans, if he can beat Usyk in the second fight, will rewrite that legacy for him. We all want the Joshua fight against Fury as well, so that fight was important. It's so good that he hasn't walked away, and it's so good we've got it this year, and we're not having to wait till next year, but it's a 7-month wait. It's about the right time for them to both recover.
A quick word about AJ. We know that he'll be fighting at Wembley in September. Is it likely his next opponent will be announced after Saturday night, and who do you think it could be?
Yeah, it will definitely be announced after Saturday night, and I think it's the winner of Filip Hrgovic, Daniel Dubois, and that'll be at Wembley Stadium, September the 20th. And guess what? Anthony Joshua arrives in town here in Saudi Arabia tomorrow. So, yeah, looking forward to that. So, yeah, he's got a keen eye on who comes out victorious on that one. But I think that is the fight that will happen next.
Okay. Before I let you go, Gareth, I must ask you, I read something this morning. You're going to have to fill in the blanks. I read that Eddie Hearn wasn't happy with the fact that the IBF didn't take their belt off Usyk, and they've allowed him to keep that belt for that rematch. Can you give us any more on that?
Yeah, well, that's what they're doing, and it means that it's an undisputed title fight again. The IBF have bent their rules for this event. Eddie Hearn's unhappy about it because he wanted an IBF eliminator on the line for this fight between Hrgovic and Dubois, so that they can have the IBF title vacant
Yeah.
for that fight with Joshua at Wembley, so that then the winner of Fury and Usyk fights for the undisputed again.
Okay.
It's all belts in name. We know who's who in the division at the moment.
Sure.
It's just about having the fights.
Are you sure you're at the right place? It sounds like you're at a rave.
Listen, that suits Gareth A. Davies down to a T, mate. He hasn't stopped dancing since we've been here. Anyone that's seen our podcast, we're putting a daily Fight Night daily podcast out each night. Go and take a look at them. If you want to learn some dance moves, watch Gareth A. Davies.
And don't forget, it's our friend Majestic playing right now.
Yes. Gareth, while we've got you on YouTube, I'm just wondering, Spencer's a little bit lower than you, a bit like watching Ant the Deck. How close can you get to a head kick with Spencer Oliver live on YouTube?
Well, I have to go out of range to do it if you want to see my
of
boot,
course,
but I'm not gonna do it
Listen,
right now.
Yeah, do it now. Do it now, Gareth. Everyone's watching.
Listen,
Okay.
Andy, it's not very difficult for people to get close to head kicking me, mate. You know that. I'm not too far away from the floor, mate.
I've been told by our producer to save it for tomorrow.
Oh, fine, okay, all right.
It's very hot out here, and we don't want any accidents.
No, okay. Well, listen, talkSPORT's answer to Ant the Deck. Thanks for coming on. You look like you're having a whale of a time out there, boys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
There you go. Look at them. They look amazing together. Don't they? Spencer Oliver and Gareth. Are you all right? What's that, mate, with you? Coffee.
Unbelievable tunes are playing in the background there.
That's DJ Majestic.
Yeah.
Or Madge to his friends. Is it actually Majestic out there, DJ Majestic? Is it?
Yeah.
Is that there?
He wouldn't lie, would he?
No, I don't know. Maybe just no, he wouldn't lie. You are right. That is nuts out there. It's absolutely banging, isn't it? By the way, a reminder, how about this? We're going to be joined by both Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren on tomorrow's show on Drive. Best of friends now. Who'd have thought of all that money involved?
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.